Hello and welcome to the NewsX Sunday Guardian Roundtable. Today we are taking a look at the happenings in Maharashtra, the breakup of the NCP. What is behind it? Is it all a big drama with Sharad Pawar's blessings, or does it mean something that the people have broken away, the Praful Patel and Ajit Pawar, leaving the NCP crippled, and also the impact it has on opposition unity? On the other hand, we are hearing all kinds of rumors from the BJP NDA camp. Praful, of course, has said now we are totally with the NDA. There's talk of Harsimrat Badal coming in. There's talk of Jayant Chaudhary also joining the NDA, though I have spoken to both the Akali and Jayant Chaudhary camp and they are denying it. But the rumors are still going. So it is a battle of the optics also. And currently, the battle for optics is really tilted heavily in the NDA's favor. What does this mean for the Congress and especially for Sharad Pawar? Because Sharad Pawar himself is a huge mystery really to handle. So joining me on the show today is Rashid Kidwai. He's the author of 24 Akbar Road, someone who's followed Congress and opposition politics pretty closely. Neerja Chaudhary, she's a political analyst and consulting editor for the Indian Express. And Tehseem Poonawala, he is a lawyer and a Congress supporter. And someone who we have very often on our show, and someone who knows Maharashtra politics especially well. So I'll begin with, first Rashid, this Sharad Pawar, and I want to begin with the story I heard from you. Pata nahi sahi hai ki nahi hai, but that conversation between Sharad Pawar and Narasimha Rao, when Narasimha Rao asked him, what is 2 plus 2? And Sharad Pawar ka jawab tha, it depends if you are buying or selling. So I remember I read this in one of your columns. So what is Sharad Pawar doing? Is he buying or selling?
So I think when it comes to Sharad Pawar, we tend to either exaggerate or underestimate him. The problem with Sharad Pawar is that he has been larger than life. He has done a lot. He's been an achiever. But today, when we look at Sharad Pawar, he's just like N.T. Ramarao of 1995, when N.T. Ramarao was upstaged by his son-in-law, that being Chandrababu Naidu. And Mr. Sharad Pawar is kind of, there is this thing Urdu couplet ke सारे जहां की खूब खबर अपने जहां से बेखबर. So while Mr. Pawar was doing the entire opposition unity etc and all, he knew very little about his own, what was happening in his own party. My own understanding is that Mr. Pawar was wary of Ajit Pawar, not today, but for past 2-3 years he was wary of his nephew, and his nephew was doing simply because Mr. Pawar, Sharad Pawar was trying to prop up Priya Sahgal as a his successor, and Mr. Ajit Pawar felt that he's the one. It happens in a lot of family-run political parties. Neerja ji would know better. The second part was, but here comes a betrayal, and the most unkind betrayal that came from Praful Patel, because Praful Patel was more than a manager, political manager, more than a Suresh Kalmadi, what Suresh Kalmadi was to Sharad Pawar, more than even I would say what Ahmed Patel was to Sonia Gandhi, much more than what Jitendra Prasad was to P. Narasimha Rao, much more than perhaps Brijesh Mishra. So Mr. Praful Patel was privy, and Praful Patel was made working president as a counterbalance to Ajit Pawar. Now the two got together. So Mr. Pawar is, he's at wit's end, and he seems to be, a loser. So a lot of people say about this, buying, selling thing and all. This is all true, but this all is past. Just like N.T. Ramarao. N.T. Ramarao was a great, figure till, Chandrababu Naidu upstaged him. So it seems for Mr. Sharad Pawar, it's a very, very difficult and tricky battle. One thing one must say about Sharad Pawar, Priya, he has never to join hands with the BJP. This is his, if you see his entire career, it's been like this. So, because he knew that the Maratha voters, which are around 30% or so, instinctively are not inclined towards the BJP. So, unless Ajit Pawar is propped up and made Chief Minister of Maharashtra, then only BJP can make a dent in Maratha voters. Otherwise, Mr. Pawar will have reasons and will have opportunity to upset the BJP.
Tehseem, you're in Bombay. What is the situation within the Congress and this whole Sharad Pawar rebellion? First of all, do you think it's a fixed match, or there is actually a betrayal done by Praful Patel and Ajit Pawar?
Thank you for having me on the show. And this is where I disagree with Rashid ji, with whom I have a lot of respect. I think it's a fixed match. And I've followed Sharad Pawar since my childhood. I come from Pune. Western Maharashtra is the gateway to Pune, and the Pawars come from there. What you guys in Delhi are seeing over the last couple of years, I have seen in Pune since I was born, prior to when I was born. 1978, Sharad Pawar ditched Mrs. Gandhi. Yeah, ditched the Congress and formed the government with 39 MLAs and became the chief minister. This was Mrs. Gandhi was prime minister. Then he comes back into the Congress. Now what you're seeing with Ajit Pawar is something I've seen throughout. In 2008, Ajit Pawar did something called the Pune pattern. Now, you will recollect that the NCP was in an alliance with the Congress in the city, state, and center. The UPA was very strong. The Congress was a very strong party in the center. Yet, Ajit Pawar ditches the Congress, makes an alliance in Pune to keep Congress out of the Pune Municipal Corporation and runs it. And Mr. Pawar, he ditched me. I have no idea. Then he comes back to the NCP. Then he does it second time. Then he comes back to the NCP. Then we had that 4 a.m. rebellion. Then he comes back to the NCP. How can somebody as astute as Mr. Pawar keep getting ditched time and again by the same gentleman and not know about it? How is it possible? Secondly, I disagree with Rashid ji on one thing. It's not just the Maratha vote that Mr. Pawar was worried about. Mr. Pawar gets a subsequent number of Muslim votes as well. Therefore, Mr. Pawar and Ajit Pawar played his good cop, bad cop. You see, it's exactly like Kumara Swamy and H.D. Devegowda ji. It's exactly like that. What the father-son do, the uncle-nephew do. If today Ajit Pawar is gone, NCP is the smaller party, why is Jitendra Awad leader of opposition? And now I'm glad the Congress has woken up and smelled the coffee. I pushed him. I spoke to Nana Patole. Nana Patole should be leader of opposition. Why should Jitendra Awad be leader of opposition? Now, I'll do two things before I end. When this MVA government fell, who was the speaker? Nana Patole was the speaker, but Nana Patole had resigned to become Maharashtra Pradesh Congress president. New speaker was decided. I've said this on your show earlier, Priya. New speaker was decided. A special 3-day session was called. Who was the one who objected to the new speaker being formed? Ajit Pawar. What happened subsequently? No speaker. Very conveniently, NCP deputy speaker. First thing Devendra Fadnavis and Eknath Shinde do is appoint a new speaker. And what is Supreme Court judgment? Speaker will decide. Had there been a Congress speaker, that election wouldn't have happened. This government wouldn't fall. And second thing, who was the Home Minister? Dilip Valse Patel. Dilip Valse Patel was sleeping that he did not know 15 MLAs and ministers when a convoy of cars are going and crossing Maharashtra to Gujarat. Today, where is Dilip Valse Patel? In that group. And are you telling me, as Rashid Ji, and I rightly agree with him on Praful Patel's role, that Praful Patel can go without Mr. Pawar? It is impossible. If you think Mr. Praful Patel can go, then I want you to imagine, which is not true, Amit Shah leaving the Honorable Prime Minister. Can Amit Shah ditch the Honorable Prime Minister? If you guys believe for 1 second it's true, then Praful Patel has gone there honestly.
I think so, Priya. I think Priya, I don't agree, Mr. Poonawalla one bit, but he has brought in a very interesting part about Praful Patel. I think, Priya, you have seen and you have known Mr. Praful Patel. What is your view about that entire thing that, Pawar and Praful Patel are hand in glove, or Pawar is facing a betrayal from a trusted person like Praful Patel?
Rashid, I'm glad you asked me this, because I was also of their same view earlier, because Praful is so loyal to Pawar that he would not do anything without Pawar's knowing. One thing that Praful is known for is loyalty also. Even with journalists, I've seen he's the most helpful person. If he's been always there. There is an accessibility and this thing. And in his politics also, I've seen. And he owes everything to Sharad Pawar. They are family. They do holidays together. They do birthdays together. He's just part of that. Supriya calls him Praful Bhai. So having done that, for Praful to just do that big betrayal, I also find it very hard to believe, except when I spoke to him yesterday and he was sounding really despondent. It wasn't that maze le rahe hain, chuski le rahe hain, he's playing part of a script. He was actually sounding like, he's going through some huge crisis. So I am of two minds, politically, I would say that this is a match fixed, my instincts. But the way he was behaving, the way the way his whole body language, the way he's been talking, I would say that he is actually going through some turmoil in his mind. So I'm sorry, I had no clear answers from me, Rashid, but just an insight into what.
But you're saying Praful Patel is a man with conscience.
Conscience, yes, I think so. I don't think that he would ditch Pawar or Supriya. The way he told me that breakup to hona hi tha, and for a while he had been saying that, I know. Supriya is the one who wanted to stay in the Congress. Praful and Ajit Pawar wanted to join the NDA. That much was happening for a while. Supriya was adamant that Congress mein rahungi. He's saying Ajit Pawar had decided that he is going to quit. So, Ajit Pawar, for whatever reason, this is the official thing that, so he's saying, Abhi, it's better to go now or later when everybody is going. Whether Ajit Pawar is also match fixed, as Tehsim is alleging, because let's not forget Sharad Pawar's comments just recently. He said the midnight swearing in happened with his blessings, because otherwise the BJP would have put governor's rule in Maharashtra. He needed time to get the Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi together, which Ajit Pawar was sent to do that swearing in. This is Sharad Pawar on record. So, wheels within wheels. But Neeta, I'm sorry to keep you waiting. I'd really like your view on, is this a fixed match, or knowing what you do of Sharad Pawar?
One thing I do know, Priya, that for several months, as we all do know, Praful Patel was one of those who was making a case for the entire NCP going with the BJP. He was one of the chief advocates, along with Ajit Pawar. And we know, either ED cases or potential cases has been a big factor for many of the NCP leaders to jump ship. And it is possible that Mr. Pawar, Sharad Pawar, felt this is the way to buy peace for the moment. Let a group go. I don't believe that he didn't know and this was a sudden surprise. Of course not. He resigned himself a few months ago, had the party rallying around him. And even when he appointed Supriya as the succession plan as the working president, he appointed Praful Patel, in my assessment, as a sop to Ajit Pawar, not because he'd been a confidant. There had been a distancing for some weeks now between the two. They've been very, very close. They know each other, things about each other that others would not know. And I must admire the way Praful Patel has been so cool in his utterances. I mean, it's a model how you react on television, how you don't get riled, and just keep your cool. If you watch it, it's amazing. So now, whether Sharad Pawar, your question, whether he's thrown a googly or he was caught by surprise. The whole story is about Sharad Pawar. It is not about Ajit Pawar, Praful Patel, Devendra Fadnavis, Eknath Shinde, or anybody else. It is about Sharad Pawar. And the timing of it to me is very interesting because 4-5 days earlier, the Prime Minister, who's so good at thinking these things through, attacks the NCP leaders and cites specific scams in which they are, allegedly involved. Corruption of NCP and irrigation scam, this scam. And 5 days later, 4 days later, these people join the BJP. What does it do for the Prime Minister's image? What does it do for the BJP's image? Therefore, why? And I think the only answer one can, I may be wrong, one has been thinking about this, but it could be that Mr. Pawar had to be punctured. Patna was a very important thing happening. And in Patna, he had built up Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi, from all accounts, is not going to be the contender in 2024 for prime ministerialship. He's already conveyed to Nitish Kumar and the others, I'm out of reckoning, from what I gather. So you go ahead and do opposition unity. So it's either going to be Nitish Kumar and willy-nilly, if at all they are in a position to form the government, there's only one man who can bring fence sitters to the table. He can talk to Naveen Patnaik, he can talk to Jagan Reddy, he can talk to KCR, and he can even talk to the Anna DMK. I mean, he has links across parties. So apart from being the sutradhar of opposition unity, playing that role, was he a contender for that? Was he viewed in that light by the BJP and had to be punctured at that particular moment? And it has been a huge setback. His party in disarray, going to the BJP. So he doesn't have that kind of a standing. Now, whether it's a googly or not a googly, the only course open for him, and this is probably for the first time, Sharad Pawar has manipulated the system to his advantage many times. He knows the system very, very well and the players in that system. Today, he's hitting the road. He's going to the people when he talks about rebuilding the party. He's going to play the victim card very effectively. And the image of Sharad Pawar in Maharashtra, I was last week in Satara and Bombay Pune area, is very different from what it was 10 years ago. There is, the words that people use for him this time, hum unse pyar karte hain. Now, that's not ever used for Sharad Pawar before. So, because of this. So here is this 82-year-old man stabbed in the back. He can barely speak. He has to be helped up the dais, as in 2019. That sympathy got him the votes. And then he managed a very difficult situation. So, Anubhavi hai. So, is he going to get that sympathy? And let me tell you one other thing, that many people said, this is before the split, आज अगर election हो जाए तो आघाड़ी जीतेगी. And this is from government secretaries to people in the village. Now, whether it's true or not, I don't know. But the split in the Shiv Sena last year has not given the BJP the kind of advantage they were looking for. So let's see. The next 3 months are going to be very critical. If Sharad Pawar takes off, then this alliance is taken a different kind of shape. People from NCP may come back. If it doesn't take off, then I tell you what it is advantage Congress party. Because people will look to the Congress as the alternative. They're already looking to the Congress, away from the regional party. That you sense at the ground.
Okay. Quickly, Tehsin, then we'll take a break.
No, so I agree with Nirja's last comment. Nirjaji's last comment says advantage Congress, and therefore I'm telling all the Congress leaders vote in Delhi and saying take LOP because enough of giving it to NCP and the Congress. I'll come back to this in the second part of the break. I have to tell you something important, but since it's a quick shot, the Congress is a very strong party in Maharashtra. The Congress was born in Pune. Its first session was to be held in Pune, but was held in Bombay because of the plague. So it's very strong, but without any alliance. It's the largest party. In Western Maharashtra, Tehsin would always say that when he contests Lok Sabha, it's not BJP who can defeat him. It is Ajit Pawar who would work to defeat him. So in one way, this is good for the Congress. Now, my only advice to Congress and some senior Congress leaders is don't spend your energy defending Sharad Pawar. Pawar Saab will take care of himself and he's an astute politician, a lot of respect for him. Please build your party. Pawar Saab will look after himself. Unless Supriya wants to merge with Congress on our terms and conditions, which won't happen now. So please take care of Congress. Western Maharashtra, Congress can sweep. And I agree with Nirjaji, one more thing. I'll come in the second part on the other thing, that this split with Shiv Sena did not affect the NBA. NBA was supposed to do very well. That is why the split happened. Now I'm making a prediction on your show. They will go after Nitish's party, BJP. They will try and split Nitish's party. They can't split Laluji's party simply because Laluji's votes are anti-BJP. Nitishji's votes have come anti-RJD. And one more unit they are going to go after. Mark it down. It's a recorded show. They are going to go after the Congress in Himachal. They will do it. So Rajiv Shukla will have to get all his guns out because they are going to go after Congress in Himachal. They're going to go after this thing. And this is all the fault of the Honorable Supreme Court judgment. The 10th schedule is completely, in my opinion, now nullified. With respect to the Supreme Court before His Majesty, I think we all bow.
Thank you, Tehsin. That's a lot of revelations made. We're going to come back and continue this going, what is going to happen to the Congress and a little more about Sharad Pawar because he still holds a lot of fascination for our viewers and his politics. So I'm going to take a break and come back. Hello and welcome back to the NewsX Sunday Guardian Roundtable. We are here discussing the Maharashtra politics and, of course, the impact on the centre. But Rashid, back to Maharashtra, back to Sharad Pawar. You followed him very closely. You've seen his politics. Nirja has also told us the background. I know you believe that this was not fixed, but now what next for him?
I think a lot of things, depend. It's like a soap opera which is going to unfold perhaps every week. But I think August 10th is a very, a cutoff date. It's not 3 months. It is August 10th because by August 10th, the speaker has to take a call. So if the speaker disqualifies Eknath Shinde's MLAs, it will be a new situation. And if the speaker doesn't, then everyone will go to Supreme Court and Supreme Court will come into play because they've already said whatever had to be said. So I think, if you look at Pawar's, he's very self-centered person. Everything, whatever he has done, so 78 example, or whichever one we give, he is always, seeing himself as the second Lokmanya Tilak of, Maharashtra. He's a Sahib. So Sahib wants to gain his gain. Why would Sahib do something for, where he will, in pecking order, not only Modi, Amit Shah, Rajnath Singh, Gadkari, Dadda, so many people. What is Mr. Pawar's gain in, consolidating, the BJP NDA? And when, Supriya Sule is nowhere in the picture. If he had to, crown Ajit Pawar, and that's the whole tussle all about, then it would have done decades. Now, question comes with Tehsin, rightly points out why Pawar has not acted swiftly, decisively against Ajit Pawar. Now, you need to know the kind of family background. You need to know about Mrs. Sharad Pawar. You need to know about, Pawar's sister-in-law. As we know, Ajit Pawar is a son of his brother. So his wife, there are a lot of drama that goes on. Me and Neerja Chaudhary, we have spent, days inside, with Mr. Sharad Pawar and his family, I think 2 decades ago or so. And we got to know all their family members and how they work. It's a very different kind of, family setup they have. I know Mr. Tehseen Poonawala is from Pune, but his thing is very different. He doesn't look the way we look at it as an outsider. So I think Mr. Pawar was under pressure from Mrs. Sharad Pawar and sister-in-law and several other family. This thing that every time he sort of excused and pardoned Ajit Pawar, and Ajit Pawar has become, much to his dislike actually. That, as I said, he's become, Chandrababu Naidu, what Chandrababu Naidu was to N.T. Rama Rao. And that is the long and short of it. So I think Pawar will try to upset Pawar's, today's task is not to let NCP, Ajit Pawar's NCP have 36 MLAs. If they don't get 36 MLAs, it's going to create a lot of problem. And Priya, last thing from my side, see a lot of disquieting Eknath Shinde's Shiv Sena. Now, what if they go back and go back to Uddhav Thackeray? So you have a new situation. And one more thing. See, political parties, family parties, they have two kind of assets. One is the public assets like building, party funds and all. They are private assets. Both Pawar and Uddhav Thackeray are sitting over, or they have some control over these private assets. And that is where Praful and all come in. So the winning side, it will all depend about this control of private assets which are over 800 crores or whatever number of figure as far as NCP is concerned. It's a mind-boggling thing. It's with all kind of possibilities. But I don't agree again that Pawar is tilting towards, or Pawar wants to consolidate NDA simply because he stands to gain nothing, either in terms of his political legacy or immediate family benefits.
Yeah, or it could be Pawar is just settling his flock. आपको NDA जाना है, आपको Congress जाना है, and daughter in the Congress, Praful and Ajit in the.
He has never been so selfless, Priya.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Tehseen.
So I agree with, again, Rashidji. Pawar Saab has never been so selfless. But Rashidji, of course, you and Neerja know a lot more than I do. I'm very young in front of you guys. But I know the Pawar family inside out. I know them personally extremely well. In fact, many a times we dine together, each part of the family. So I know that family equation. And no politician in the world gets pressurized because the wife or the uncle doesn't want action to be taken if his power is going to go. That's a given. That's as straight a physics rule.
We have enough examples of politicians being pressurized by their wives. Don't let Rashid
pressurized by the wife.
Yeah.
No,
you know nothing about Mrs. Advani and
no. One second.
And Mrs. Arjun Singh.
Kamala Advani's role, and Neerja ji can write a book on it actually.
I know. 1 second, please. Let me.
Don't try to undermine these things.
I'm never going to undermine my thing. I am saying, of course, the wife will play a role, but no politician will give up power on the wife's pressurize and allow his power to slip. That is a rule of physics, as true as the rule as nothing is faster than the speed of light.
Politics is not physics, my friend.
Sir,
we will agree to disagree because
every politician without a rule will be pressurized by his wife or spouse. No politician will let his or her chair go because of the spouse. Let's be clear on the two exceptions to the rules. They may make mistakes because of the wife or the husband, but they will not give up power and let their chair slip simply because the wife is or the husband has intervened and they know that the other person has literally ditched them 4 times or 5 times in the past. That does not happen. If that happens, so you're not an astute politician. But let's come to some of the things that
astute reader of human relations.
Yes,
it has to be split. It has to be split. Let me come to something. So I'm going to tell a quick story. When Eknath Shinde ji became chief minister and this speech became very viral in Maharashtra, it was a speech in Marathi. I'm of course going to say it in English. Eknath Shinde, while speaking in the assembly, and this will explain everything to you, said this. He says, one day Ajit Pawar came up to me and told me after he became chief minister that Eknath, why did you do all of this, the rebellion? You should have just told me that you want to be chief minister and I would have whispered in Uddhav's ears and you would have been chief minister. Then Eknath Shinde goes on to say, that exactly is the problem, Dada. They call Ajit Pawar Dada. That exactly is the problem. That to talk to my leader, I had to whisper in your ears and you will whisper in your ears. We cannot be with you. Several interviews of Eknath Shinde ministers have said the problem was not with the Congress as much as was with Ajit Pawar. What did Ajit Pawar do as ministers? I told you about the speaker. I've said this earlier on your show who did not happen. We had finalized the speaker. I'll tell you, all the ministers who are Congress ministers used to tell me, sir, any file above 2 crores, Ajit Pawar had to sign. Why is Ajit Pawar signing files? You sign NCP MLA's files, yeah, finance. Any file above 2 crores was going to Ajit Pawar. Ministers were humiliated. Ajit Pawar was declaring budget. I'll give you one specific example. When during the lockdown, the Honorable Prime Minister did the lockdown, and at that time, Maharashtra did the lockdown 1 week before, the electricity bills were a problem. Not to pay electricity bills, the announcement was done by Ajit Pawar. Now, electricity bills will start being paid was done by Nitin Raut, Congress Minister for Electricity. Why? And I told this to the Congress leadership. So this is the pattern of Ajit Pawar. Ajit Pawar is extremely dominating. He controls the government. He runs the government. My question is, this government is now going to be a khichdi. Eknath Shinde is going to be humiliated. Devendra Fadnavis has already been humiliated. There is no power sharing, because what are you going to give Ajit Pawar? I still don't believe for one cabinet berth, Praful Patel can leave Sharad Pawar and come. Or just because ED may put him in jail for a few months. That is not enough reasons to leave Mr. Pawar and come. So this is a fixed match. This works. There's a couplet in Urdu which I will end with. This is the politics of the NCP, whose only ideology is power, nothing else. Ajab teri siyasat, gazab tera nizam. Ajab teri siyasat, gazab tera nizam. Yazid se bhi dosti, Hussain ko bhi salam. This is the NCP, and this is what's going on.
Okay. Nija, last word to you, Reddy. You heard there seems very...
NCP is about power. Every party is about power, they seem. Let's not have any illusions on that one.
Except Rahul Gandhi, who says power is poison.
Including Rahul Gandhi, including the Congress, and it would be, one sees a little bit of the Congress flexing its muscles and gleefully looking at the NCP split.
That's me. Congress is not doing it. Congress is not. I'm pushing them to do it.
No, some people have said that this is our moment now to strike. I think it would be a very short-sighted policy, given that within the NDA ranks, vis-a-vis Shinde's group. Shinde's group is already in touch with Uddhav, has been for several months. And Devendra Fadnavis, being one of the two deputy CMs after having been CM. So that was a cardinal mistake that the BJP brass made. But that apart, there's turbulence on this side. There has been sympathy on the MVS side. It's a very big challenge that they face with the split in both Shiv Sena and the NCP. But it's also an opportunity. If they hang together, these three players, maybe, we don't know where the situation will go. If they don't, then we know where it goes.
On that note, thank you all. I think we're all watching this situation very closely, and we're going to take a look at what's going to happen in the opposition politics. The opposition is all set to meet. I think that Bangalore meeting is going to happen sometime soon. So let's keep an eye. Let's see what Mr. Pawar is up to, and of course, what's going to happen with the BJP and the NDA. There's a cabinet reshuffle rumored next week. So we're going to watch that space.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.